I followed behind Jack for many years. He made me deaf in the right ear for the sake of Moonlight. The wind and clouds lightly broke my finger bones. After I left, he wrote a song for me, with the melody bidding farewell to the past 88 keys. On the night of its release, he hid razor blades in the piano. As the piece ended, the blood from his cut fingers stained the entire keyboard red. Jack knelt in front of me. "Sherry, I'll give you my hand back, please forgive me, okay?" He just didn't understand. I will never turn back. The day I won the competition, Jack slapped me, making my right ear deaf. Little did I know, that slap was only the beginning. On the high stage, applause roared like an ocean tide. In the corner of my eye, I saw Jack throwing the flowers that should have been for me at his feet. People walking by trampled on them, and the bouquet turned to debris in an instant. Jack turned to chase Lisa, who was struggling and crying in his arms. In an unnoticed corner, the two embraced tightly, and Jack silenced her sobs with his lips. I witnessed it all from the stage. In a daze, I felt as disheveled as the bouquet. After the performance, what awaited me was not Jack's congratulations. It was a harsh slap. I fell to the ground, my cheek burning, my ear ringing. Jack's face was full of disgust as he held the tearful Lisa. His lips parted, his voice weak, vaguely angry, questioning. "Who told you to take away Lisa's chance by using despicable means?" Tears welled up in my eyes, my whole body trembling. That slap left my right ear unable to catch any sound. Ignoring the pain in my cheek, I crawled towards Jack, pleading, "My right ear can't hear, please. Please take me to the hospital." Impatiently, he pushed my hands away, throwing me back to the ground. "What are you up to again? People who do wrong should pay the price." Lisa shook Jack's hand beside him, gently persuading him to let it go. Jack snatched the trophy from my hands and slammed it on the ground. The crystal shattered, its pieces cutting into my palms. Blood oozed from between my fingers. The two left holding hands. Lisa turned to me, a smug smile on her face. Jack didn't care about the truth, he only cared about whether Lisa was wronged. He didn't know that Lisa was framing me with all her actions. He only chose to believe that I was jealous of Lisa and hurt her by deceit. An athlete who perseveres despite getting burned, even if they lose, is still a winner. Lisa successfully got Jack's sympathy and affection. I became the villain willing to do anything to win. After that slap, my right ear could no longer hear. Uncle Jack had him come apologize to me, his expression cold and harsh. "Sherry, you always run to my dad pretending to be pitiful, are you satisfied now?" I cut off his next rude words. "Jack, what has happened to you?" With all my strength, I asked one last question. "You believe everything Lisa says, don't you?" Jack disdainfully chuckled. I saw it with my own eyes. "What else do you have to say? Have you overestimated yourself?" He sneered, his face full of resentment. "If I knew you were like this, I would never have let you into the Jack family in the first place." My eardrums burst, my ears still oozing pus and blood. The pain from that phrase twisted my heart more than the physical pain. Jack hated me, blamed me, and humiliated me for Lisa's sake. But we weren't always like that. When I was 10, my father died suddenly at the piano. I moved into Jack's house, becoming his adopted child, sitting on the couch nervously clinging to the hem of my clothes. That's when Jack came, handing me an orange and playing a song for me on the piano to soothe my fear and shyness. That day, his camel-colored sweater was particularly soft. "Don't be afraid, Sherry, I'll take care of you from now on." I didn't tell him he played 2 wrong notes of Chopin's masterpiece. In fact, I played the piano better than Jack, perhaps inheriting my father's genes. Even though I was 2 years younger than Jack, I played much better than him. Who would have thought Sherry was actually a piano genius? Jack's dark eyes were full of laughter and approval. I blushed at his praise. The children around us chased me, throwing stones at me, making faces and taunting me as an orphan. It was Jack who beat them black and blue, brought them over to apologize to me. "Sherry isn't a homeless wild child. She's mine." Seeing Jack's bloody fists, tears welled up in my eyes. Uncontrollably, I fell in love with Jack. He stitched up my broken wounds, like a beautiful dream bestowed by heaven. Until Lisa appeared, and that dream shattered bit by bit. A few days later, at Jack's birthday banquet, I sat alone in a corner. Footsteps approached me from behind, and Lisa mockingly stared at the hearing aid in my right ear. She maliciously leaned in close to my right ear, commenting on the hearing aid one word at a time. "Just a parasite living off someone else's pity. What chance do you have against me?" Lisa intentionally tried to provoke me, and I clenched my fists, saying nothing. Seeing me ignore her, she forcefully yanked out the hearing aid from my ear, a malicious look on her face. "Someone deaf in one ear doesn't deserve to be a pianist, little deaf girl." She mockingly let go, and the hearing aid fell to the ground, shattered to pieces. I stood up abruptly, wanting to raise my hand to slap her, but my wrist was firmly grabbed. Jack appeared just in time, and Lisa's eyes turned red. "Jack, I didn't mean to, I just wanted to check her ear." Jack's grip tightened, almost breaking my wrist. "Sherry, if you keep throwing tantrums, get out of the Jack family." I couldn't help but laugh, tears flowing down my cheeks, a hint of sadness. "Jack, don't you feel any guilt for my deafness?" This question only stunned him for 2 seconds. He furrowed his brows slightly, a hint of conflict and pain flashing on his face. He shut his eyes briefly, and when he opened them, they were cold. He didn't hesitate to reach for Lisa's hand. The shiny leather shoes stepped on the broken fragments on the ground, crushing my heart into pieces. Jack and Lisa played a piece called Wedding in a Dream together, leading to speculations among the guests about their impending good news. Jack's uncle, frowning, tapped his cane and went upstairs. Before leaving, I handed Jack a birthday gift, a string of 18 beads that I personally polished meticulously for 6 months. Although my heart was filled with resentment, I sincerely wished him well. Despite not looking, Jack had someone else take the gift, while Lisa, curious, insisted on seeing it. Upon seeing the beads, a hint of mockery flashed in her eyes. "How beautiful. I want it too, for a couple set with you," she said. Jack gently patted her head and replied, "Lisa, we deserve the best. This is too shabby for you." He then broke the string and threw it away as if it were disgusting trash. Feeling dejected, I walked away, overhearing Lisa saying, "Sherry seems mad. Go cheer her up." Jack's cold voice responded, "Don't bother her, she's a lunatic." I hated how sharp my left ear was at that moment. As I was about to head downstairs, Lisa caught up with me and whispered, "Sherry, such a good name, suits you with that deaf guy." In anger, I turned around, my eyes burning with fury, warning her not to speak another word of disgust. Despite her venomous tone, Lisa then teasingly played with the rose brooch on my chest. She asked if I wanted to know why Jack hated me so much. At that point, I no longer cared to find out. The packing services for my move had been arranged, so I would be leaving Jack's house the next day, never to see them again. As I tried to pass Lisa uninterestedly, she grabbed my hand and whispered, "I can't tell you then." She abruptly fell down the stairs, causing a commotion. Lisa was saved, but I could no longer play the piano, as the damage to my bones was irreversible. I left Jack's house with my luggage, my right hand in a cast and thick bandages wrapped around it. Jack's uncle handed me a bank card, expressing his gratitude, but I politely declined. Leaving Jack's house wasn't about compromise but complete estrangement. Jack never showed up, but his uncle punished him severely for his actions. Exiting through the courtyard and passing the pond, I threw a shimmering necklace into the muddy water, signifying my rejection of Jack and his family. After a brief stay at Jack's house and the recent loss of my father, falling ill with a high fever at night, Jack carried me to the hospital when no one else was around. He ran several kilometers, losing one of his shoes, just to get me medical attention. The necklace he gifted me after I regained consciousness now seemed meaningless. He would always choose Lisa, the unattainable one. The youthful infatuation I once had for him had completely faded away. I was now focused on getting the best treatment for my ear and hand, which Jack owed me, feeling no obligation towards him. In the hospital, the stern doctor gently touched my ear, his warm breath at my neck causing a tingling sensation. He prescribed medication and advised me to avoid spicy foods until my hand heals. Dar. Eden, as he was named, had a dignified appearance, with a touch of mystery in his deep, dark eyes. As he left the room, the sunlight glinting off his profile, he remarked that I couldn't play the piano until I recovered, hinting I still had a chance at healing. After adding the contact information, Dr. Eden has been urging me to come for a follow-up appointment every week. The recovery period was long, but the cast was removed quickly. The scar from the surgery marred the delicate joints of my fingers. It was a reminder of the ugly stitching that I couldn't help but feel self-conscious about. During one of the rehabilitation sessions with Eden, he surprised me by putting on a finger sleeve for me. The cleverly designed sleeve covered up the scar, featuring a lively tiger pattern. I couldn't help but laugh, surprised by Eden's playful side. A passing nurse exclaimed, Dr. Eden, did you specially buy the finger sleeve for Sherry? It's so cute. Eden, a bit awkward, clenched his fists and coughed lightly. I got it for my niece, but it fits you well, he said, blushing slightly and avoiding my gaze. I thought to myself, Eden was truly a gentle and caring person. Seeing Jack again after 3 months, Uncle Jack asked me and Jack to attend a charity banquet on his behalf. Lisa clung to Jack in a flirtatious manner. I'm his companion tonight, Sherry won't mind, right? She said. I chuckled, showing that I didn't care at all. Do you think I would mind? It had been days since that night, and when they met again, it seemed as if nothing had happened between them. I felt more indifferent than I had imagined. Jack's gaze seemed to pierce through me, revealing a fleeting expression of pain and conflict. Tonight, I had nothing to do with Jack. As Lisa pulled Jack to sit down, she pushed me to the side. The host of the banquet opened a velvet box containing a necklace embellished with sapphires. The name of the necklace, Mermaid Tears, flashed in my mind. It was a token of love that my father had bought for my mother. She wore it during her final days battling a terminal illness. My father had donated most of the family's assets to medical care, and even sold the necklace. Over the years, tonight, I was determined to buy it back no matter what. The people present seemed to know who I was and kindly refrained from bidding against me. Lisa, unwillingly, glanced at me and tugged at Jack's arm. It's so beautiful, I want it, she said. Jack's expression darkened, and he stiffened as she suggested buying it. Let's forget about this one. I'll buy you a better one, Jack said, giving in after Lisa coaxed him. She eagerly raised the bidding card, then turned back to look at me provocatively. Sherry, even though this necklace belonged to your mother, I also really like it. Can we compete fairly? I clenched my fingers under my skirt. Back then, she had been so arrogant, claiming that she wanted to compete with me fairly. Then, on the day of her adulthood, when I dressed up meticulously and held the love letter for Jack in my hand as I pushed open the door to the music room. In the dim light, Lisa embraced Jack from behind and kissed his cheek. Jack didn't refuse her. The moonlight shattered on the floor as Lisa, with a victorious smile, looked straight at me through the crack in the door. So, I fled. But that wasn't enough. Lisa wanted to twist the knife even more. The next day, she cornered me in the music room, taunting me like a cat with a mouse. Jack has liked me for a long time. What do you have to compete with me, White Moonlight? She sneered. Fair competition? That was nothing more than child's play to you, she mocked. From that day on, I forced myself to gradually let go of Jack. And now, all these years later, I had already moved on. When Lisa mentioned my mother, Jack's eyes darkened. Competition? What can Sherry afford now? Without Jack's family, she's just a pauper, Lisa said in a contemptuous tone. I can buy it for you too. Jack turned to me, his eyes filled with mockery. Lisa exclaimed his name in disbelief. If you kneel at the piano and perform a piece for Lisa, I'll buy it for you, Jack said, his tone provoking. I gritted my teeth, a rush of humiliation fueling my rage and resentment. Almost without thinking, I picked up the nearby red wine and splashed it on him fiercely. Lisa screamed in shock as Jack was doused with wine all over his face and hair, the red wine flowing down along his sharp nose blended with the red splashes on his white suit. The hall fell silent as Jack opened his eyes, revealing a dark expression. He grabbed my arm, asking, "Sherry, are you crazy?" A slender hand caught Jack in a sideways grip, forcing him to release me. "Are you the crazy one? She's injured, and you're forcing her to kneel and play the piano?" The words startled me as I recognized the face. Dar. Eden. Eden appeared in a different light from when I had seen him at the hospital. He had taken off his white coat, and his suit brought out a slightly wild and reckless look in his eyes. "And please show some respect to my patient," he said, emphasizing my. The people around heard my name and Jack's face turned from surprise to anger. "Does a doctor need to be involved in a patient's private affairs?" Jack's tone was cold and chilling, emphasizing private affairs. Eden held my wrist firmly, lifting it up and calling for security calmly. "A doctor may not interfere, but the hosts of this banquet certainly can." The hosts were none other than the prestigious Eden family, who were known for their top-tier status in the circle. Eden, being a medical genius from the distinguished Eden family, made Lisa's eyes sparkle with admiration. She put on a perfect smile and extended her hand. "You must be the medical genius from the Eden family." "It's an honor to meet you," she said, but Eden avoided her hand and turned to escort me away. Countless eyes were on us, and I looked down at my wrist, blushing slightly as it lay in his large hand with distinct knuckles. Behind me, Jack angrily knocked over a chair. "Jack, you look like a petulant clown right now," I thought to myself as I sat next to Eden, absent-mindedly fiddling with the finger sleeve on my hand. "I'm sorry for causing a disturbance at this banquet." Eden turned his face, with the scattered lights shining in his eyes, adding a touch of brilliance. "No need to feel sorry. If I were you, I would slap him." I bit my lip and quietly raised the corners of my mouth. Back at the apartment building, Jack's car was arrogantly parked there. I walked straight past without looking, and he rudely honked the horn behind me. The sharp honking pierced my ears, and I immediately covered my right ear uncomfortably. The car headlights dazzled my eyes, and Jack rolled down the window. "Sherry, get in. My dad wants to see you." Jack gritted his teeth, and I obediently got into the car. Through the rearview mirror, Jack noticed the necklace box, and his eyes darkened again. He tapped his index finger on the steering wheel, a sign of his annoyance. "What's the relationship between you and Eden?" I closed my eyes, too lazy to acknowledge him. Jack's eyes turned pitch black, his eyebrows furrowed imperceptibly. "Sherry, why didn't you just stick to him tonight?" He let out a long, scornful laugh. "A person like Eden, you are not even in the same league with him." I couldn't take it anymore and retorted, "Jack, if someone has rabies and likes to bite people, they should seek treatment." Jack's face darkened, he revved the engine in frustration, as if consumed by jealous emotions. "It's ridiculous, he has no right to judge my relationship with Eden." In front of both of us, Uncle Jack opened a dusty box. Inside was an old sheet music. Clipped on it was a photo of my mother when she was young. My mother was so beautiful before she got sick. Uncle Jack's illness was not completely cured yet. He coughed a few times and took a deep breath. "Your mother asked me to wait for the right time to give you this sheet music. After all these years, today is the time." Uncle Jack stared at me affectionately, as if seeing a resemblance to someone else through me. Uncle Jack clenched his fists, making a cracking sound. His face turned blue, his eyes widened with anger, and he suddenly stood up from the couch. "After all these years, is it the wrong time, or is it your own selfishness?" He leaned forward, furiously sweeping the box, sheet music, photos, all onto the floor. I quickly squatted down to pick them up, a roar exploding in my ear. "Stop pretending to be righteous. It was for this woman that you divorced my mom." The room fell into a deafening silence. Maintaining my half-crouched position, my fingertips numb, slightly trembling. Uncle Jack started coughing violently, a hint of pity flashed in his eyes. "You misunderstood me. I divorced your mom because of her mental illness, never because of someone else." In Uncle Jack's pallid face, I heard the truth. Jack's mother suffered from severe delusions and manic episodes. During her worst times, she imagined her husband was having an affair, even resorting to self-harm and attacking others. Jack happened to overhear his parents arguing. Through the door crack, he heard Mrs. Jack hysterically screaming, accusing her husband of falling in love with a friend's wife and bringing the friend's daughter close to him. Mrs. Jack initiated the divorce, leaving her husband and child behind, going to a mental institution overseas. Jack staggered, disbelief written all over his face. His hands clenched the corner of the table to steady himself. His lips pale, trembling, muttering to himself, "Impossible, this can't be true." Jack's eyes sharpened. "You're lying to me, my mom has a mental illness, how do I not know?" Uncle Jack let out a long sigh. "This kind of illness could be hereditary. To avoid putting pressure on you, your mother and I decided to keep it from you. We never expected you to misunderstand until now." Hands clenched tight on his temples, Jack's eyes turned bloodshot. "She clearly said she hated you, hated Sherry's mother, hated her failed marriage. How could this be? How could this be?" Uncle Jack's eyes welled up with tears. It was because she was not in her right mind when she was sick. He pulled out the diagnosis and medical records from the drawer. Jack reached out with trembling hands, almost failing to take them. I listened to the long overdue confrontation between father and son. Lisa never told me why Jack hated me. Today, I finally found the answer. Why his attitude changed, and he hated me so much. Why that day I happily prepared a gift for him, but he pushed me to the ground. "Get away. Don't come near me from now on." Why he turned so cold whenever my mother was mentioned. But at this moment, I no longer cared. I just felt irony filling my heart. How ridiculous. I bent down to pick up the things on the floor, nodded at Uncle Jack, and walked out without looking back. A hand grabbed my arm. Jack called my name softly from behind. "Sherry." His voice was filled with pain. I turned my head, calmly meeting his bloodshot eyes. "Jack, from start to finish, you're just a complete fool." That hand weakly released me. I lifted my foot and walked past him. It said that night, Jack smashed up his own room. It was Lisa who came to me first after that. "Sherry, don't get too cocky." With the truth revealed, Lisa was no longer calm, showing signs of panic. Even if it was a misunderstanding, I am the moonlight in his life. I sipped my coffee, crossed my arms, and looked directly into her eyes. Lisa was getting emotional, saying, I was there for him when he was most in pain. I wrote him letter after letter. We were about to get engaged. You can never replace me. I brushed my hair behind my ear, a hint of sarcasm in my smile. Did he know about those letters? Were they taken from me by you? During the time when Jack's parents argued and divorced, Jack was surrounded by despair and pain, and it was me who wrote him letter after letter. He rejected my approaches, so I asked Lisa to pass on the message, but the letter was stolen. Jack despised me so much that he wouldn't believe anything I said. Lisa's expression turned blank for a moment, and then I spoke up. Lisa, do you really love Jack? This question ignited the darkest thoughts in Lisa's heart, and she exploded like a bomb. So what if I don't love him? What you have, Sherry, why can't I have it too? The big house, luxury goods, Jack. I'll take everything of yours. Click. The sound of the phone ending the recording. I stood up in front of Lisa's terrified eyes. You've plotted against me so many times, eventually, I must make you pay back, I coldly remarked as I walked out. Jack, almost unsteady, with crimson eyes, leaned against the sharp corner of the screen, staring fiercely at Lisa. Back in the private room, I squeezed my palm so hard it left deep red marks. I needed to force myself to stay alert, remain calm, and enjoy Jack's disarray. Jack, this is what you owe me. When I went for a checkup with Dr. Eden, I brought a Chopin vinyl record as a gift. Thank you for last time, I said as I handed him the vinyl. Dar. Eden's eyes, usually clear, were now avoiding mine. I once liked playing the piano because of someone. I wanted him to continue, but he changed the subject. The hospital doesn't allow doctors to accept gifts from patients. Feeling a bit embarrassed, I was stuck holding the vinyl, unsure whether to give it or take it back. But last time was outside that rule, right? I trailed off. His fair hand rested on the edge of the vinyl, looking like a work of art. Waiting eagerly for my response, almost demanding a decision, he stared at me intensely. I couldn't help but ask before the visit ended, Dr. Eden, is there a chance for me to recover? Dr. Eden avoided answering, and as our eyes met, he called me Sherry for the first time, suggesting something simmering beneath the surface. What I understood came later, after a deep rumble in my heart. As soon as I got home, Jack intercepted me downstairs. His pale face, sunken eyes with deep dark circles and bloodshot eyes suggested he hadn't slept well in a long time. He trembled as he tried to stop me, showing me something on his wrist. It was the Buddhist prayer beads thrown into the fountain during his birthday party. I searched the fountain all night. There were 18 beads, and I found every one of them, he confessed. Disregarding him, I tried to walk away, but Jack grabbed my left hand, forcing it open. A cold necklace was pushed into my hand, his eyes red as he almost choked up. I emptied the pond, dug through the mud for 3 days to find it. Sherry, will you continue to wear it for me, please? I forcefully pulled away from his grip, letting the necklace drop at my feet, now dirty with dust. Jack seemed to lose all strength in that instant. He knelt and reached out to pick up the necklace. Jack, that's all in the past, I told him, making him bleak as he remained kneeling. Soon, 2 drops of tears fell into the dust. Jack began almost frantically to beg for my forgiveness. He grabbed Lisa by the hair, making her kneel in front of me. Lisa, who had shown arrogance and defiance before, now appeared humble and cautious when facing me. Her tear-stained face showed how hard her days had been. She described in detail everything from trying to get close to me to inciting conflicts in secret, to stealing the letter, spilling tea intentionally, and causing stairs to collapse. Before I could react, Jack kicked her to the ground. Lisa, with disheveled hair, crawled to my feet and clutched my skirt. Sherry, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Jack, with bloodshot eyes, was about to do something extreme, but I stepped in to stop him. Jack, you're more despicable than Lisa, I stated, watching his face turn paler by the second. All this time, I've thought so. Lisa may be at fault for providing a vent for your emotions, but the one who has truly hurt me has always been you, Jack. You and her, I will never forgive. In reality, Jack and I were quite similar, very stubborn. Once we made a decision, we never looked back. After that day, Jack became cautious and paranoid, wanting my forgiveness desperately but never daring to come close to me again. Even in the snow, he stood downstairs all night, keeping watch for me until the middle of the night. Uncle Jack called me, his voice full of sighs. As my recovery period slowly passed, I picked up the piano again under Eden's guidance. My fingers had hidden injuries, needing time to adjust. After 3 months of practice, it was already late winter outside. From starting off faltering, I gradually regained my touch. Jack stayed downstairs the entire time. The sound of my piano playing wafted outside, entering his ears. The sharp blade he had thrust into me felt like a boomerang now embedded in his own heart. I don't know how long he stood outside listening to me play. By the time I stepped out the next day, his black coat and hair were covered in a layer of snow, his face even paler and more haggard. Jack, stop torturing yourself and don't appear in front of me anymore. You know I can't turn back, I said. Those words hit him so hard that his face turned almost translucent, and he clutched his heart in pain. Tonight, I returned to the orchestra and back to the stage. I invited Eden to be in the audience, but he insisted on coming to pick me up. In the midst of the wintry December, Eden somehow got a bouquet of lilies of the valley. As he handed me the fragrant white lilies, he whispered their meaning. Welcome back to happiness. I smiled and took the flowers. I also accepted Eden's beautiful wishes. We both ignored Jack very tacitly. What's your relationship with Sherry? Jack asked in a hoarse, cautious tone that revealed his cracked lips and a spot that was oozing blood slightly. Eden looked at Jack coldly and replied emotionlessly, it was a one-sided pursuit on my part at the charity gala. Jack contemptuously claimed I was out of Eden's league. Now, Eden stood before him and declared that he was pursuing me. It's time to go, get in the car, Eden said, opening the door for me on the other side gently. Eden and Jack were two different personalities. I remembered the first time I saw Jack's car headlights glaring at me. In contrast, I recalled the first time we met, the moment the sunlight dazzled me and Eden rose to close the blinds for me. My orchestra colleagues unfurled banners to welcome my return. In casual conversations, I learned that Lisa, who had been dismissed due to office bullying while I was away, had caused quite a stir. She left the orchestra and wouldn't be turning up again. Without a doubt, it was Jack's doing. If Lisa were to appear in front of me again, she'd only serve as a constant reminder of what she and Jack did to me. The long-missed spotlight shone on me, bringing a hint of warmth. I closed my eyes, stretched my fingers, and the music flowed from the piano like a cascade of water. My soul soared in the clouds. The audience fell into a moment of deep silence before erupting with thunderous applause. Backstage, I held the bouquet of lilies and took a photo with Eden. A colleague who was helping us take the picture couldn't help but exclaim, "You two look perfect together." The awkwardness choked the final applause that died in our throats. Jack appeared behind us, a faint blush visible beneath his eyes. The frost of winter spread, and others discreetly left the theater. Jack handed me a crystal trophy. "Congratulations on your successful performance, Sherry," he said, his throat quivering as if he swallowed a lump. "I found your trophy pieces, pieced them together, good as new," I replied, thinking the white flakes on his head were from the snow. Suddenly, as the lights flickered, I noticed he was actually young but with premature graying. With a sigh, I chose not to take it. "Jack, this trophy no longer holds any meaning for me. I no longer have feelings for you," I said. In that moment, Jack's face fell blank. He seemed like someone hit by a sudden deafening noise, clutching his ears in anguish and falling to his knees. Like a wild animal losing its mate, Jack hoarsely questioned, "How can you ever forgive me?" His hoarse voice dripped with despair, tears streamed down his swollen eyes. "Sherry, I can't lose you, I can't be without you," he pleaded. Uncle Jack told me that every time Jack hurt me, he was also in great pain and conflict. The other day when I had a medical consultation, Jack had apparently been watching me the whole time. He had even pulled some strings to help me secure an appointment with Eden. As the most renowned surgeon in the city, Eden's appointments were hard to come by, but I easily got one through Jack's connections. I had never realized Jack's involvement in this, but what did it matter? The harm he caused me can never be repaired. When it comes to loving someone else, I will always love myself first. I remembered how I used to feel close to and fond of Jack when we first met. Sadly, I realized that I truly no longer liked him. "Jack, please stop haunting me," I said. Jack rose listlessly, walked out with a wooden expression, as if his soul had been drained. I couldn't shake off the heavy burden completely, and my mood remained subdued. With the theater now emptied, Eden and I circled around the curtain, preparing to leave. But he stopped me. "Sherry, I can also play a bit of piano. Would you like to listen?" Eden asked. Intrigued, I nodded, and we sat side by side at the piano. His hands, fair and slender, were adept at playing the keys with precision. Even hands wielding a scalpel could gracefully dance across the piano keys. It was a familiar tune, Chopin's final masterpiece. "Remember when I asked if you ever had a special liking for the piano because of someone?" Eden smiled, turning his face to Meth. "First time I heard this song was in the hospital. In this city, there was only one hospital with a piano set up in the lobby. That was where my mother was admitted after being diagnosed terminally ill." I tried to retrieve memories of that time, but Eden chuckled. "When I was a kid and cried non-stop at the hospital because I was scared of the pain from my leg injury, no one could comfort me. It was a girl who played this piece for me. I had forgotten to cry then. The girl's parents were in the vicinity clapping proudly. Later when I saw her again, I recognized her instantly." He was recounting our previous encounters. A smile tugged at the corner of my mouth involuntarily. In a daze, I recalled those days, memories saturated with white walls and the strong scent of disinfectant. My mother clasping my hand, urging me to stay strong in her final days. "Mom, I've kept my promise. I am strong enough, brave enough to step over the hurdle named setback. But right now, I am not ready to rearrange my feelings to start liking someone again. Eden understood this well. He kindly told me that Jack was serious when he expressed his feelings for me before. He advised me not to feel pressured and not to respond immediately. He would give me time. He had enough patience to wait for my decision. For now, I just need to consider him as a reliable friend. Eden truly has a kind of magic. He can make the interaction between two people comfortable and easy. Returning to the band was just the first step. My next step is to win the championship at the upcoming international competition. What nobody expected was that Jack did something almost paranoid. Coming from a family in the entertainment industry, primarily in record distribution, Jack locked himself up for half a month and wrote a song with the most famous production team. It had a distinctive melody, using a lot of 88 keys in just a few days. It became the hottest new hit. The song was called Late. On the night of the release, despite Jack's uncle's repeated requests, I went to the event. A journalist handed him the microphone and asked why he used a lot of 88 keys in creating the song. Jack's gaze fell on my face through the crowd. He said, "It's because I want to say goodbye to the past and start over with someone." I listened to this dialogue indifferently. The journalist sensed gossip and wanted to ask more. Jack returned to the piano and started playing. The soothing sound of the piano was much better than the first time we met. I closed my eyes to listen, but the small noise around me made me open my eyes. With one look, I saw Jack's fingers covered in blood. He was insane. He had attached razor blades to the 88 keys. Every time he struck a key, a new cut appeared on his hand and blood flowed. He was playing in an almost self-mutilating way. The white keys gradually turned red with blood, leaving everyone stunned when the song ended. Amid the silence, Jack stood up. He grabbed the microphone, walked into the spotlight, and knelt in my direction. "Sherry, I offer you my hand, please forgive me." Jack had truly gone mad. Facing all of this in disbelief, I could hear murmurs spreading. Someone handed me the microphone, and with slightly teary eyes, I spoke with finality. "Jack, you are as selfish as always. For music, the ears need to feel before the heart. Love is the same. You used to be a scab in my heart that bled and festered when broken, but that wound has healed now. Don't do anything meaningless anymore, because to me, you are nothing now." Jack, covered in blood, listened to my words. The light in his eyes dimmed instantly. As if his backbone had been removed, he collapsed, tears slowly running down his cheeks. Staff immediately helped him up on stage, and I left without looking back. Everyone silently witnessed what happened that day. After that day, Jack never appeared in front of me again. The incident spread slightly on the internet that night and then silence fell over it, maybe due to Jack's family or Eden's intervention. I was too busy focusing on more important things. On the day I won the international piano competition, Eden personally presented me with flowers. The bouquet was lilies, which I liked very much. The winning piece was selected from the piano score my mother had left me. I finally understood why she waited for the right moment to have Jack's uncle give it to me. The emotions in the music needed life experience to comprehend. Eden was wearing a white suit, looking striking among the guests invited by the organizers. The white outfit made him look even more handsome. Standing with me in a white gown, we looked like we were wearing couple outfits. It was hard not to suspect that he had done it on purpose. At least 3 people praised us for being a perfect match on the high podium. Eden and I embraced each other. I caught a glimpse of a familiar figure. It had been a long time since I saw Jack and Lisa. The latter was said to have gone bankrupt after leaving the band and was nowhere to be found. The former was something we silently avoided. I still visited Jack's uncle often. He raised me and was like a second father to me. I could feel Jack watching me from behind the curtains every time. But thankfully, he no longer tortured himself to seek my forgiveness. The figure who passed by below the stage, I couldn't be certain if it was him. But even if it were him, it didn't matter to me anymore. I heard Eden's heartbeat, a mix of secret shyness and excitement. After the awards ceremony, Eden and I drove to the cemetery. The bouquet of lilies was placed in front of the grave. It was my first time bringing Eden to see my parents. This was Eden, whom I liked very much. I took the hand of the person next to me, the touch warm yet cool like jade. He hesitated for a moment, then turned to look at me, his ears slightly red. But he firmly clasped my hand into his palm. A gentle breeze lifted the petals of the lilies and our clothes.